The right foot there clearly had some ice on it, potentially getting broken. When did it happen? What's the update there?
Yeah, it was compromised in like the first or second round. I threw like a calf kick and it landed on his knee, and I felt it just explode right away. So it's probably broken. I have to get an x-ray when I get back. But, you know, I was fighting for something bigger than myself tonight. I was fighting for all the people that keep us free here in America, first responders, law enforcement, military. So this was something bigger than myself. I wasn't going to quit on them. Yeah, I got clipped in the second round, but I'm going to keep fighting and keep coming forward. I'm unbreakable. You can't stop me.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, what is the emotion like right now? Obviously, you came up short. You didn't get the result you wanted, but another incredibly, close fight, another great fight against a top individual that I'm sure you can be proud of the performance. So what's the feeling right now?
No, I'm definitely not proud of my performance. I should have won that. It was laser thin again. I honestly thought I had it 3-2. And it was very close. He clipped me. I clipped him a couple times. Whatever media reporter in here that said I went for 11 takedowns and had unsuccessful attempts, fake news. You guys do real journalism. That's why you guys aren't journalists. You don't have journalism degrees because you put this fake news out. I obviously took him down. So I broke that stat. So you can't ever hype him up anymore and say he's never been taken down because I took him down. So, I think we have unfinished business. I'll go 5 more rounds out in the parking lot right now, and I'm serious about that. I will see him again. I'm not done with him. I'll fight whoever it takes to get back there. I think the most logical step is the heated rival with me and my old roommate, Street Judas Masvidal. He should probably pull out of that fight with Leon Scott, and we should just run it. Let's run it in the first quarter of the first part of the year, and let's do it, man. That's a heated rivalry, man. He talked so much shit in the media and said so many things about me. Look at what happened when he fought Marty. He got dusted. I mean, if he fought me, he would get dusted even worse, and it wouldn't be competitive. So I just want to hold these people accountable for the way they run their mouth in the media, and it makes sense. And if he goes ahead with that Leon Scott fight, then Hunter Campbell, I just pray to you, please, God, don't cut him after that third loss in a row. Save him around. Let me be the one that ends his career.
So you'd still fight him even if he comes up short in that one?
Yeah, just because it's such a personal rivalry. He said so many things about me in the media. He said I was a fragile guy. The guy's the most fragile guy on the roster. Look, is he awake yet? I mean, dude, he got dusted, dude. Unconscious, dude. You'll never see me in the octagon like that. And I'm getting better every single day. You haven't seen the last of me. I'm going to get that UFC title. I don't care who I have to go through, what I have to do. I know I'm the best fighter in the world, and I know I'm going to be able to claim that gold someday.
Yeah. I know you mentioned thinking you had 3 rounds of 2. I imagine that would be 3, 4, and 5. So I just want to ask you about 1 and 2. It seemed like you started maybe a little slow or maybe a little less volume. Was that by design, or was that just something that kind of played out in the opening 2 rounds?
Yeah, I came out a little sluggish. Didn't get to my volume, didn't get to my pace like I normally do. I was trying to see what he was working with and what he was going to come at me with, but I still thought I was right there. I didn't think that he clearly won 1 or 2. I mean, maybe 2 because he clipped me, but 1 was very close. I don't know how you could just outright give it to him. So it was a very close fight. Whatever judge put it 49-46 is out of their fucking mind.
Yeah, and obviously this has been a very heated rivalry, but it looked like you did have a couple of words of respect at the end of the fight. I'm just curious if you could share kind of what the conversation was.
I can't respect a guy like that. I mean, go look on YouTube. The guy dissected everything that, he cheats on and everything. And you see those injection marks all over his stomach. The guy's not a clean fighter. I'm a clean fighter. I'm raw American steel and twisted sex appeal. And I did this the hard way. I'm a kid from Springfield, Thurston, Oregon, and look at me. I just sold out sold out Madison Square Garden, 4th highest gate in the company's history. The pay-per-view numbers are astronomical. Take one guess who did all that. That's me. I'm the one that sold this event. I'm the one that put all this asses in the seat. Whether you love me or hate me, you came to watch me tonight, and that's not debatable.
Nice. Last thing for me, clearly you want to see him again. Do you think a fight with Masvidal is enough to do that? Do you think there might be some more work? Where do you think the path is for Colby Covington from here?
Yeah, I think a fight with Masvidal gets me right there. He was just a top contender before he got beat 2 times in a row. So you guys put a lot of hype on him that, he was this superstar and he's unbeatable and these crazy knockouts and he's just, no one can beat him. So, that fight needs to happen, man. He talks so much shit, and ran his mouth so much, and just the personal rivalry and the heat on that fight. There's not a fight like that in the UFC, the way the UFC can sell that. So I'm just begging Hunter Campbell, I'm begging Dana White, please let it happen. Whether he pulls out of the Leon Scott fight, we could do it the first quarter of next year. We could do it in Miami, man. Let's go to Miami. You know, we got the best governor in the world, Ronnie DeSantis. And let's run it in Miami, man. Let's see who's the king of... I know I'm the king of Miami, so if he wants to come step up, you know, I want to punch him in the face for his ex-wife, Maritza. I know she wants to hit him in the face, so... You know, he's got some alimony to pay in the meantime, and, you know, he's a dirtbag, so let me finish that guy.
Colby, over here on this side. To speak to that takedown record that you were just talking about, Daniel Cormier actually said that's 2 when you took him down, so I would assume you would agree with that.
100%. It was obviously a takedown. He was on his hands and knees. You know, I came around to the back. I had the body lock. I obviously got the 2-point takedown, so... Whatever journalist is in the crowd saying that it was unsuccessful on every attempt is obviously not a journalist. There, you know, you need to go report on something else because you know nothing about MMA. Your eyes are blind, and you should probably get them checked.
Hey, Colby, right here. Didn't go your way, but the crowd in New York, quite a few fans for you. Can just put into words what it was like to come out to Madison Square Garden and get that kind of reception.
It was incredible, you know. I said all week about, you know, all the people that have headlined this place, Muhammad Ali, Rolling Stones, Hulkamania, you know, and now Colby Covington. So to have a sold-out arena like that and just so many of my close friends that came, you know, Candace Owens, Jack Owak, Bang Energy, you know, and Well came out to support me from Miami, you know, famous Spanish rapper. So it was incredible, man. It's just, it was electric in there. You know, you could hear the people, you know, in the crowd going crazy the whole fight. So it was amazing. I'm just a kid from a small town in Thurston, Oregon. No one makes it out of that town and goes big. So for me to make it out of that town and be where I'm at, I'm undeniable. You guys can say whatever you want in the media. I'm undeniable. There's no doubt I'm a star in this company. I'm one of the biggest draws, if not a top 2 or 3 big draw in this company. So I got unfinished business, and I'm going to keep working. I'm going to get back to the grindstone as soon as this foot's healed up. And you haven't seen the last of me. I can promise you that.
Looking at the schedule and depending on what may or may not happen with your old buddy, are you open to possibly still coaching the Ultimate Fighter against him if they said, hey, the schedule lines up for both of you?
Absolutely. I think that would be an honor. And what better way to have a heated rivalry like that on the Ultimate Fighter? So I think it sells the show pretty self-explanatory in itself. And you know, it'd be an honor to be a coach. I remember growing up watching the show, and I was a big fan of it. You know, my good friend and Uncle Chael, good buddy, you know, coached the show. So 2 kids from Oregon gangsters. It'd be an honor to be able to do that. And, you know, I love putting on good business for the UFC, so I'd love to coach it and give the people and the fans what they want.
For the record, do you just like the color green, or is it because you got paid?
It's a little bit of both, you know. But, you know, I do like green. It's nice when it goes in the bank account.
Thank you.
Colby, to go back to Tough there, I mean, is that something in terms of timing that you'd want to do? Because it takes a while to film that show, to air it, and I feel like over the past few years you have lost a lot of, you know, opportunities in terms of time off and stuff. Is that something that would come into play if that opportunity came around, not wanting to sit out for a long time again?
Yeah, you know, there's 2 sides of the spectrum. I don't want to sit out and keep wasting the prime of my career. I feel like I'm hitting my stride, and I'm getting better every day, you know. I got new good coaches, and Daniel Valverde, Cesar Carnero, Jonathan Lopez, Charlie Weiss. These guys are pushing me every single day, so I still keep seeing leaps and bounds and improvements in my game, and I know the best me and my full potential hasn't came yet. So the biggest thing is I'm a company man. I love putting on good shows for the UFC and selling, you know, tickets and shows and pay-per-views and everything. So if that's what the UFC wants, I'd love to deliver it for them and give them a good show and give the fans what they want, man. That show's been boring, man. There's no animosity. There's no heated rivalries. There's just guys are trying to fake these dramas and these storylines. So let's get a real storyline going with a guy I used to beat up every day in the living room, and let's sell this fight, man. The guy talked reckless. Where's the street car going to be if he ducks me his whole career? Because that's what he just did. Ever since I beat Woodley, he was sitting out. He didn't want to fight me, and there's a reason why. So if he doesn't come out and fight me, he lost all his street cred, and he's a bitch.
And I guess if you do have a broken foot, that could, you know, fit in the time frame in terms of recovery, right? Or you could do the show while you heal up.
Yeah, we could do the show while I heal up. I don't anticipate it being more than 4 weeks, 6 weeks at most to heal it. So I think the first quarter of next year is a good time for me to come back and fight, and
hopefully it lines up for when he wants to fight again.
And last thing from me, you set up media day in terms of the first fight. You didn't feel like your coaches at the time were giving you the correct advice between rounds. You mentioned the breathing thing and all that. How do you feel the feedback was and the directive you got tonight differed?
Oh man, it was a completely different game plan and different coaching, and they just calmed me down, helped me to breathe, told me to keep my hands up. A couple of times I started getting a little reckless again and dropping my hands and smiling and deviating from, the game plan and the strategy, but they calmed me down. Cesar Carnero told me, hey, calm down, hands up. Daniel Valverde was reminding me, hands up, let's not, start fighting emotional. Let's fight smart and let's get our hand raised. You're clipping him and you're catching him too, so just be fast. A couple of times in the fight, I was just using too much energy. I was trying to knock him out. I wanted to knock him out so bad, and I was swinging everything I had, but that wasn't working. When I was catching him, it was when I was being speed and timing and accurate and not loading up on my shots, just touching him and going back in. So, all the credit to, Cesar Carnero, Daniel Valverde, Jonathan Lopez, and Charlie Weiss. They had me at my best tonight.
Hey, Chaos. Another fighter that you have beef with is Dustin Poirier. Obviously, he's fighting for the lightweight championship. You want to fight this guy. Can you ever see yourself going down to 155, or do you see yourself fighting him at 170 and he would come up?
Yeah, I remember, that Louisiana swamp trash, Dustin Poirier. We used to step on the scale at our old gym all the time, and he weighed bigger than me. I was like 182. He'd be like 185, 188. So he's a bigger guy than me. I'm not scared to fight, guys at my weight. He's obviously scared to fight guys his weight. He has to cut all this weight to feel like he has an advantage over guys. So he's another guy that it makes sense for that fight. He talks so reckless in the media. How are these guys not going to be held accountable? He said, hey, it's on site. When I see Colby, it's on site. Dustin, name the site. Let's do it, man. Bring that little Jezebel of a wife. Bring that little kid you use as a prop. And let's get this going, man. I'm holding people accountable in the UFC. They're not going to be able to talk reckless and not be able to step in the cage. And if he doesn't want to fight, he loses his street cred too, and he's nothing more than Louisiana swamp trash.
So not at 155?
No, I don't feel like depleting myself and going through that struggle. It's not a hard cut for me at 70. It's really easy, but we could do something in the middle, 162 maybe, but I don't feel like cutting all that weight. I'd rather fight at my natural weight class and show the world that you don't need to cut weight to be the best in the world. You just got to show up and fight and prove that you're the best.
Colby, when Kamaru was out here earlier, he referred to you, he sort of compared you to being the frasier to his Ali. And I'm sure some people would take that as a compliment, but I can imagine you thinking that's not a compliment. Can you react to that statement, please?
Yeah, that's definitely not a compliment, He's a cheating coward, I have no respect for that guy, He's obviously a cheater. He's cheated in multiple fights. I mean, he was holding my glove tonight against the cage. In the first round, I shot a takedown, and he went bomb twice to the back of the head. And, I think Dan Mergliato is top 3 best refs in the game, but I told him before the fight, I warned him, hey, do not let this guy hit me in the back of the head. And he did right away. If you go back and look at the footage, he clearly the back of the head. And when you hit someone in the back of the head, man, it definitely dazes you real quick. So, that caught me off guard. And just more tactics of him cheating. You'll never see me cheating or, trying to cheat. So it's just got an unfair shake again. But, I still think I got the job done. But I promise you ain't seen the last of me.
Colby, 20 years from now, when we're talking to our kids and grandkids about the greats that have participated in sports here in Madison Square Garden, what are you going to tell them what Colby Covington did on this day at MSG, and how will we tell them to remember this fondly?
The beautiful thing about, my performance and my body of work is I'm not the one that has to tell them. They can go look at the footage. They can go look at the tapes. They can look at everything that I've done, my accomplishments, and the way I fought. I put it all out there every single time. There's no quitting me. You cannot get me out of that octagon. There's not a person that can finish me on this roster. So, I think the kids will see that, he was a kid who was unbreakable, and he just kept coming forward. A kid from Thurston, Oregon, never had no quit in him, and he fought for a bigger purpose than himself. Law enforcement, military, the people that keep us free and protect our freedoms here in America. So I'm going to keep fighting for them. This is bigger than me now.
Tonight you used Kurt Angle's old theme in the WWF, and you seemed to get a kick out of the chant that people were associating with that theme song. What was going through your mind when they were chanting that, man?
Man, every time I hear the crowd saying, you suck, it's such a freaking humbling experience.
It's beautiful. I love it. They're playing right into my game. I have everybody right where I want them. They're in my trap, in my web, and it's just beautiful. I would never have used that song if I didn't, personally ask Kurt Angle, and he gave me permission to use that song, and just to recreate these moments and get the crowd into the show. They were a part of the show tonight. They were screaming. Some of them loved me, some of them hated me, but they were entertaining, and they got their money's worth tonight, and that's what it's all about here at the UFC is giving the fans, they're a show for what they're paying for. They're paying their hard-earned money for this, so it was amazing. Loved it.
Last question for you here. You used Kurt Angle's team before. You used Hulk Hogan's team before. I know you like that wrestling. What's next for you? What's the next team you're going to use from the old wrestling tree? Because they got some good ones out there, man.
Yeah, I'm the king of spoilers and surprises, but I can't be revealing that yet. You got to tune in to see. I definitely got some surprises in store and some beautiful things that I have planned for the future and future events, but I can't reveal them here. It's like watching the beginning of a movie. You don't get to see the end. You got to pay attention to see the end.
Colby, back here. You had said all week, to your right, you had said all week that you were not going to shake his hand, and at the end there, we actually saw the two of you embrace and actually shake hands, which showed a sign of sportsmanship. Talk a little bit about the conversation that you had in there with Usman, because he actually mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of respect for each other, Even though he's cut corners, and I've never had to cut corners in my career, I came here the long way. I earned this blood, sweat, and tears the hard way. Never cheated, never cut corners. I'm just a blue-collar kid from Thurston, Oregon, in these big fights. So, if that's the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, I just put on 2 epic fights with him and beat him in multiple rounds. So where does that put me? And why am I not in the pound-for-pound rankings? Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Everybody hates me.
Colby, to your right over here. We were just mentioning some wrestling, and a lot of your old ATT buddies are doing some stuff in AEW these days. Do you have any, aspirations of following in their footsteps, maybe going into the AEW ring?
I don't pay attention to anything those losers do. So, I'm focused on putting on the biggest and best fights in the world. You might see me in WWE one day, but, I don't think you're going to see me in a second-tier promotion like AEW.